Hi, the next tool that we're going to add in our toolbox is called Unwinding. We've given you many tools, and as you may have noticed, they are becoming less and less traditional and more free flowing. Unwinding is a complete lack of restraint when it comes to movement, a complete freedom of movement. Think of floating in a pool and you can move in any direction with absolutely no resistance. Our body has something called positional memory, and so especially in incidences where there is an injury or an accident such as a fall or a accident, say for example if someone were thrown from a car or landed in a precarious position, we don't revisit those positions in a typical doctor's office, or sometimes not even in a therapist's office. We're typically sitting, standing, or lying down, where if someone fell out of a tree and landed head first, we don't typically get in that position. However, once our tissues are placed in that position, it is sometimes needed and allows complete healing. So we're going to allow ourselves to get in any position during unwinding, however your body speaks to you and leads you to be positioned for a complete release of the strain and the stress and the restrictions in your tissues. This is part of myofascial release, and it's part of the three-legged stool, which consists of myofascial release, unwinding, and rebounding, which we will visit later. To start unwinding, think of it like a trampoline, that you are randomly releasing springs on the trampoline. So as the tension is released on one side, the center of the trampoline will be pulled to the other side by the springs there. The trampoline isn't moving itself, and you aren't moving the trampoline, but when the restrictions are released, it allows movement. So we are going to put ourselves in a position of going into the restrictions, such as a stretch, and holding it there until those restrictions are released. This may take 90 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It can take a long time, but once that restriction is released, it will allow movement, and that will guide you to the next restriction. It's like an onion, and as you peel away one layer, another layer is revealed. So it can go in any direction. It is very unpredictable, and you don't hold your stretches in a certain position for 30 seconds or do 10 repetitions with this exact movement. It's however your body feels like moving. So you're going to start in a stretch position. So if I have tension in my neck, I may move my head to the side until I feel that strain. I'm going to take up the slack in the muscles and the soft tissue, and then I'm just going to hold it there. As I said, this may take at least 90 seconds, up to 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm picturing where that tension is going. If I feel it in my neck, where is it pulling on? I can feel this pulling up into the back of my head, and as it's released, my head turns, and very slowly I go into the next restriction, which I feel on this side down here. I get to the point where I can just go smoothly from one restriction to the next, keeping tension on the tight tissues even as that changes, as one is released and another one takes its place. You can do this in sitting, standing, or lying down, and you may frequently go from one position to another. You may start in sitting and then feel like lying down or rolling over or hanging off the edge of the bed or the table. Please know that your body will not injure itself. It may go into positions of stretch or strain or maybe even pain. Typically it visits that area and then it will bring itself out of it if it becomes too much, and it may revisit it again and come back and again and come back. So you're repeating motions, and each one may get a little bit further and a little bit further. However, sometimes this can be a way of avoiding certain emotions and certain feelings in certain positions. And so if you're repeatedly revisiting the same thing like a broken record, then you may need to intentionally change positions and try to approach it from a different direction. While you're unwinding, Give yourself permission to make noises, to open your mouth. That's another very non-traditional thing. We typically sit with our mouth closed. When you're unwinding, especially if you're tipping your head back, it tightens up the front. So often we're ahead like this and we get tight in front, and unwinding may be bringing you into a fully open position, and that may require opening your mouth to get a full stretch of your neck, head, and face. Other things while you're unwinding may indicate the need to push or pull or stretch. So if your hands or your feet are pointed out and stretching, you may need to pull. You can use objects that are stationary, such as the edge of a bed, a door frame, a dresser, to pull against. And so I may be pulling against the chair to stretch my back. And conversely, if my hands or feet are extended, I may need to push. And so I may push against the wall or the door to feel that through my arm and provide a stable base as my arm and my body move on my hand, which is stationary. So this may lead you to any number of positions. It may lead you through positions in a very unpredictable pattern. It can be a beautiful thing, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel with it, and your body will learn to recognize this as a therapeutic tool and actually seek it out. And so you may find yourself unwinding in times that you don't expect to, such as when you're getting a massage, or even sometimes when you're sleeping, you may wake up and find yourself unwinding with your head or with your arms. And it's a way that your body can peel away layer after layer of restrictions that you didn't even know existed. Focus in on your body, tune into where those are leading, picturing the webbing of the fascia and what that is pulling on, and release that for greater freedom and full healing.